This is the Giant Central Organization of Trade Union COTU headquarters, situated in Gikomba, Kamkunji constituency, Nairobi, since its inception in 1965, following the dissolution of the Kenya Federation of Labour and the African Workers' Congress. The Giant Union, that has over 40 affiliate unions, commands a membership of over 2.5 million workers, now drawn from both public and private sectors, and has retained its command center at Gikomba's Solidarity Building.
COTU was allocated here by the colonies because workers were noisy. Workers had a lot of demands. Workers were fighting for independence of this country. So they were so noisy that the British or the colonies thought that this organization should be put somewhere in the bush. Because at that time, this place was bushy, and it was very difficult for someone to access this place. So it is very sentimental that we fought for independence using this place here. And after independence, we have seen the government, government come in and go and prosper. So we decided that this is very sentimental. We cannot relocate, purely because of that sentimentality of COTU.
Kenya's trade union movement dates back to the British colonial government, which is said to have been biased towards employers in suppressing the rise of organized labor movement. However, persistent push saw the colonial government allow the creation of unions, though in a restricted manner. The move enabled union pioneer leaders Fred Kubai, Makan Singh and Bildad Kagia to initiate trade unions that led to the first ever industrial strike, which took place in Mombasa in 1939, staged by the African Railway Workers, followed by that of Dock Workers' Union strike in 1955. The late Tom Joseph Mboya then formed the Kenya Federation of Labour, which would later merge with the Kenya African Workers' Congress to form the Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU, in 1965.
When we started in those formative years, COTU was engaged in fighting, and therefore service delivery was minimal. But today, it is all systems go as far as delivery of services to our members is concerned. So I can very proudly say COTU has lived up to its billing.
We have tried to avoid unnecessary controversies, which was witnessed previously in the previous regimes. You'll recall during Moi's time, Mois will decide who becomes General Secretary of which union, and they will create some kind of war between the unions, and there will be a lot of wrangling, which the current leadership have kind of fought. And we have decided that it's important for us to work together, do everything together, because if there's an injury to one, there's an injury to all.
Apparently, the tussle between the government and COTU did not begin yesterday. In 1975, powers that be attempted to take the driver's seat, since it always had a slot on the COTU board.
Isipokuwa 1975, wakati Dennis sasa alitoka akaenda, alikuwa ameshachaguliwa hapa, akaenda watu, ndio Kenyatta kaita zina Nakuru. Kukawa na kampeni kubwa, ilikuwa inatakana kwamba lazima Mkikuyu achukue COTU. Sababu kina Koinanga alikuwa right man wa Kenyatta na kina Chege, kina James Karebe, na wakapendekeza Karebe achukue COTU. Na ikawa Karebe hakuwa na control, sababu hii COTU imekuwa control na wafanyikazi mpaka sasa hivi. Ndio naona serikali haijapata nafasi ya kupendekeza. Imejaribu, hata sasa hivi wanajaribu, lakini imekuwa shida kwa sababu COTU imesimama kwa msingi ya wafanyikazi bila kulini kwa east ama west. Basi tulikwenda Nakuru, tukamchagua Juma Boy kama Secretary General. Kenyatta akakataa, akatufukuza, akasema mrudi mkafanya kampeni, mtuchagulie. Alikuwa anafikia Kareba atachaguliwa. Tukarudi State House Nakuru mbele ya Kenyatta. Akaja kwa address sisi, akaingia ndani, tukapiga kura, tukachukua Juma Boy. Basi ikawa hana njia. Kitu alifanya, alidrop Chadwick Adonga ambaye alikuwa tumchagua deputy, akamweka Karebe deputy general secretary, na Mlea kabakia secretary general.
We said we must remain free and independent labor movement like those other international national labor centers, because we have specific mandate from our members to do specific job. One, to effectively negotiate for our members as far as terms and conditions of their services are concerned. Two, to unite them for a cause. An injury to one is an injury to all. That is part of solidarity. Four, to make sure that we are an alternative organ for national guidance, to guide our nation. That is what the trade union movement should be doing.
In the early 90s, as clamor for multipartyism gained momentum, there was a near fallout in the Giant Union when 15 constituent unions, led by the Secretary General of Kenya Quarry and Mine Workers Union, who is now a board member in COTU, Wafula Musamia, declared they were severing links with COTU in what was seen as an attempted coup following the re-election of Joseph Jolly Mugala as Secretary General.
I have never been involved in a coup, except that sometime in 1991, when there was a lot of infighting with my colleagues, Leti Muchai, Brother Kubai, Natili and others, decided that it was time we formed a rival group to COTU. So we prepared a constitution, and then along the way, we realized that opening that window would be very difficult for us to close. So we abandoned the idea. And so any insinuation that Wafula had organized a coup or attempted to organize a coup does not arise.
The unions which attempted to form a parallel umbrella union included unions of posts and telecommunication workers, the Kenya Petroleum Oil Workers Union, and the Kenya Sugar Plantation Workers Union.
We attempted to form a rival organization to COTU to make it more vibrant. But then along the way, we decided that this idea may be good, but we'll be opening a Pandora's box. We'll have no way of closing it. So we abandoned the idea and came back to code for it. The urge was that at some time along the way, a decision was made by the late Secretary General of COTU, J.J. Mugala, that small unions should be struck off the register of trade unions. So that anchored most of us who appear to have small unions. So we said, what do we do? As a defense, we have to fight back. And that fighting back included even forming a rival group or organization to COTU. That's what precipitated the idea that the new center was necessary at that time.
Nonetheless, J.J. Mugala served as Secretary General for 15 years until August 2001, when the current workers' spokesman Francis Lumasa Yatwoli was elected.
Wakati Mugala ameondoka, Twele kinga mahali hapa, kitu cha kwanza Twele sema lazima tubadilishe shirikisho la wafanyakazi liwe independent kabisa bila serikali kwa ndani. Tulikwenda katika uchaguzi wa kwanza Kitret, wakati Twele uchaguzi tukabadilisha katiba, tukaondoa mambo ya serikali yote na tukaregister. Hata kulikuwa mambo hii ya NSF ilikuwa inatawaliwa na serikali. Ndio wakati wa kwanza NSF kuwekwa independent, kwa COTU na FKI wawe na power, veto power ya kuweza kuallow pesa kutoka. Sasa pesa zililiwa kiholela.
We said, now let us make trade union movement jobs to be professional. We professionalized them. Each union had, and we said to make them professional, each union must employ an economist and a lawyer, or have services, always seek services of a legal expert and a person versed in economic issues. So all unions did like that. COTU employed also those people to advise the affiliates union.
And for 17 years, the firebrand Secretary General has championed what he calls respect for workers, saying they are the heartbeat of any country's economy.
Which factory manufactures the money that you are withdrawing in terms of salary, if it is not coming from the revenue? Revenue generated by workers. So we deserve some respect. We deserve some respect. We deserve, even if it is at a minimum.
However, the leadership of COTU has been accused by some quarters of being partisan or at times teaming up with anti-government forces.
We must understand that COTU is a pressure group championing the cause of the workers and the downtrodden. In that regard, you could probably be thinking that maybe the COTU is an opposition to government. The idea is we are not opposed to government. We have survived the test of time because we are neutral and we remain as a pressure group. Anything that the government does which we think is good for workers and for the country and for the downtrodden, we support. And where it deviates into other things, as a pressure group, we rise up to our occasion and say this is wrong.
Anybody who wants to establish a business somewhere, you need three things. One is land. Two is capital. Three, workers. So if we cannot be able to participate in the national issues and guide that nation, then we are irrelevant. Because we create economy. We spur economic growth. And government draws revenue from what we do. So who is the government? Government depends on us. So if it is not performing in line with its mandate, it is only us as a pressure group to correct the government. No another man or woman. It is only the labor movement. Because we are stakeholders or social partners.
Mutaambie yeye ya kwamba tunakuja. Workers are coming. Workers, you are coming. Workers, you are coming.